Hello friends, I'm Kayla. Welcome back to the series I like to call upcoming books that sound cool, that recently got announced or recently got cover reveals that I want to tell you about because I'll probably read them someday, and I tell you about them via just reading you the Goodreads synopsis. There's a shorter, punchier title in there somewhere, but I don't know what it is. So let's just get into it. Due to my love of Shakespeare, I put this on my radar, even though I'm not a huge Ava Reid fan yet. But she has a book called Lady Macbeth coming out sometime. This post says it's pitched as Circe meets Wolf Hall, a reimagining of Shakespeare's play where Lady Macbeth is given a voice, a past, and a power that transforms the story men have written for her. I am gonna read it. How about you? Now, this one I don't think I've talked about anywhere. I think this was announced back in August or September, and I just keep forgetting to feature it, but it's Icarus by Kay Ancrum, one of my faves. And it says it's going to be a romantic YA thriller, a reimagining of the classic myth pitched as the Goldfinch meets Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. In the book, a teen cat burglar carries out his father's mission of stealing works of art from a local wealthy man to replace them with intricate, perfect replicas until he's caught by another boy his age imprisoned in the rich neighbor's home. Via Twitter, we've learned it's going to have intersex rep, and also it is involving Catholic guilt and a touch-starved kid, and has a similar writing style or scope to The Wicker King. I had another one on my radar I was just about to talk about, but all of the tweets related to it have been deleted, so I'm wondering if anybody knows what happened to Group Show by Brandon Taylor, if it's still a thing or no. It was supposed to be about a group of art museum assistants, but I don't want to talk about it anymore because maybe it's not a thing. Next up, from authors that I've read from before but still don't have covers or anything, Erin E. Adams has an upcoming book called One of You. It has a long synopsis. A mysterious outsider torments two Haitian American sisters, forcing them to confront dark secrets from their family's past in this powerful psychological suspense novel from the acclaimed author of Jackal. I'm not going to get into the rest of it because I think that blurb sums it up well. I can't wait to see the cover because I love this one so much. Next up, a favorite author of mine, Akweke Emezi, has their debut poetry collection. I believe it already came out in 2022, looking like this, a cover I don't love, but now has this new cover, and it's coming out from Bloomsbury Poetry, or just came out this month. So it's not upcoming, it's out, but I only just heard of it, so I'm gonna pick it up. It says a fiercely contemporary collection which renegotiates the contract between poet and reader in the light of this moment in human history. Which cover do you prefer? Let me know. Then the author of the Book of Accidents, which I didn't love, but I'm interested to pick up more Chuck Wendig. This one is called Black River Orchard. It says a small town is transformed by dark magic, which sounds right up my alley, when a strange tree begins bearing magical apples. It's a horror book. Everybody becomes obsessed with the magic of the apples. It comes out in fall, and it's 544 pages. I'll give it a read. Are you gonna give it a read? Then we have Come and Get It by Kylie Reed. I haven't read anything into this, and it doesn't have a cover yet. So it's 2017 at the University of Arkansas. Millie Cousins, a senior resident assistant, wants to graduate, get a job, and buy a house. So when Agatha Paul, a visiting professor and writer, offers Millie an easy yet unusual opportunity, she jumps at the chance. But Millie's starry-eyed hustle becomes jeopardized by odd new friends, vengeful dorm pranks, and illicit intrigue. It seems like it's going to be the same genre and tone as Such a Fun Age, so if you enjoyed this, put this one on your radar. Now, an author I didn't love, Cassandra Khaw, with Nothing But Blackened Teeth, I always said I would try again. So she's writing this cosmic horror duology with Richard Kadrey, and the cover is kind of incredible. It says it's Neil Gaiman meets Jessica Jones with magic, monsters, and mayhem. Julie Cruz is a coked up, burnt out 30-something who packs a lot of magic into her small body. She's trying to establish herself as a major psychic operative in the NYC magic scene, and she'll work the most gruesome gigs to claw her way to the top. She apparently summons a guardian angel, and that sets off a chain of deadly events. The first book is called The Dead Take the A Train. Next up, of course, the latest Mona Awad. So I've been talking about this since it was just a sparkle in her eye. And now we have a cover, and I adore the cover. It's called Rouge, and I have not read the synopsis, so I wanted to do it with you. This says it's a horror-tinted gothic fairy tale about a lonely dress shop clerk whose mother's unexpected death sends her down a treacherous path in pursuit of youth and beauty. Can she escape her mother's fate and find a connection that is more than skin deep? So we've got this woman named Belle, and at her mother's funeral, there's a strange woman in red. And with the help of a pair of red shoes, she's lured into the barbed embrace of La Maison de Medusa, the same lavish culty spa to which her mother was devoted. Behind a mirror her mother was obsessed with, there are great shimmering depths and demons that lurk on the other side. Yes, please. I will be reading that. Then we've got an upcoming psychological suspense from Jillian Macmillan called The Fall. Nicole and Tom's lives are changed overnight by a £10 million lottery win. Before they know it, they've moved into the state-of-the-art glass barn conversion in the stunning grounds of something I can't pronounce. But their dreams quickly turn into a nightmare when Tom is found dead in the swimming pool with a wound on his head. Someone close to home must be responsible. So is it her because she wants all the money? Is it somebody going after him for the money? There's another young couple who lives in the manor. They have a housekeeper. Who among them is capable of murder? That sounds so fun. I mean, murder's not fun. Oh wait, there is another cover. Okay, so it's also called The Manor House. I don't know which is which, UK and North America. Let me know which one you prefer though. The one with the gate or the one with the house? Then, I don't know if you all saw, but if you love Kirsten White's retelling stuff, she's doing Dracula and Lucy, in which the classic novel is revisited from the perspective of beautiful, doomed Lucy Westenra, whose story now spans more than a century soaked in blood and longing. Last year on Twitter, she said, all my retellings are conversations with stories that I deeply love and that also really piss me off. I love Dracula and I hate Lucy's role in it, so I'm giving her a new one complete with vamping through the decades of vampire MLM and Dracula himself. I think it's gonna be so fun. Enough of authors I've read from before. Now we've got some that just intrigue me, even though I have no history with this author, including Yuji Li Yang. I don't know if you knew that one of the Try Guys had a book coming out, but it's a fantasy YA duology. The first one is called The Unders, and it says it's a twisted queer fantasy in which a group of teens band together to stop a war between the human and the magical world. I don't read a lot of YA fantasy at my big age, but I probably will. I'm really interested to see the cover and what direction it's gonna go. Another one I have is called Masquerade. It's by Oo Sangayomi. I have no doubt I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but hopefully I will learn how. There will be interviews and whatnot. It says it's the first book in a series in which a young Yoruba woman rises from social pariah to power in a reimagining of patriarchal pre-colonial West Africa, exploring the death and rebirth of an entire culture, with underlying themes pitched as a mirroring of Hades and Persephone. So that's interesting. I just want to see the cover. That's me all the time. Just show me the cover and then I know what to expect. I don't know. I'm a judge a book by its cover kind of girl. Next up, there's this one. And it's called A Season of Monstrous Conceptions by Lena Rather. It's from Tor. It is a novella. And it says, in 17th century London, unnatural babies are being born with eyes made for the dark and webbed digits suited to the sea. Sarah Davis is intimately familiar with such strangeness, having hidden her uncanny nature all her life and fled to London under suspicious circumstances. Sarah starts over as a midwife's apprentice. With each new unnatural birth, the fear in London grows of the devil's work. I'm very intrigued. I feel like this cover is very in line with this current trend that I'm seeing of this color combination. Like, doesn't it look so similar to Man-Made Monsters? And also, one I'm going to talk about in a second, Holly. And another one I'm about to talk about, A Haunting on the Hill. There's just a vibe going on. Actually, let's go ahead and roll right into this one, A Haunting on the Hill, because it's very interesting to me. It's by Elizabeth Hand, and naturally, it sounds just like this, The Haunting of Hill House, Shirley Jackson, because it is. But this is the first ever authorized novel to return to the world of Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. Like, this is actually a continuation that has been approved and chosen by the publisher to exist in the same house, following the same kind of story. We're following a main character named Holly. It says she's been a struggling playwright for years, but now receiving a grant to develop her play, she may finally be close to her big break. All she needs is time and space to bring her vision to life. When she stumbles across Hill House on a weekend getaway upstate, she's immediately taken in by the ornate, if crumbling, Gothic mansion. Some people join her, including a troupe of actors, each with ghosts of their own. It seems something has been waiting in Hill House all these years, and it no longer intends to walk alone. Coming in at 400 pages, will you be picking it up? I guess let's get into Holly next, which also has a main character named Holly. This is a character we have met in the Mr. Mercedes series and The Outsider. There is this continuing story, and Stephen King has said that Holly was intended to just be a brief walk-on role and has kind of taken over his consciousness. And now she gets her own book. I didn't love the series. I didn't love The Outsider. I don't feel connected to Holly, but there is a possibility I'll pick this up, so we'll learn about it together. I also don't know if there will be any spoilers in here, so if you want to read those things and you're worried this might spoil something, then just skip ahead. When Penny calls the Finders Keepers detective agency hoping to help locate her missing daughter, Holly is reluctant to accept the case. Her partner Pete has COVID. Her very complicated mother has just died, and Holly is meant to be on leave. But something in Penny's desperate voice makes it impossible for Holly to turn her down. I guess there's a family on the block. They look perfect, incredible, but they're harboring a secret in their basement, and it might be related to Bonnie's disappearance. Holly must summon all her formidable talents to outthink and outmaneuver the shockingly twisted professors in this chilling new masterwork. Next up, as far as sequels, here's a series I'm actually actively reading. It is The Singing Hills cycle by Nevo. All of these ones, The Empress of Salt and Fortune, When a Tiger Came Down the Mountain. That's my favorite cover. I think my least favorite cover has been Into the Riverlands. And now there's this one called Mammoth at the Gate. I love the colors and I like the art style enough. Which one's your favorite cover? I need to know. So in this, we obviously have our cleric, Chi, who's the main character, copying down stories, listening to the history of different places. There's a cleric in this one who used to be the patriarch of a clan, and now their granddaughters have arrived on the backs of royal mammoths, demanding their grandfather's body for burial. Chi must somehow balance honoring their mentor's chosen life while keeping the sisters from the north from storming the gates and destroying the history the clerics have worked so hard to preserve. I do feel like each book in the series gets more about Chi, and it's just getting more and more of that, so that's fun. Then, I don't know if you heard, but A Dowry of Blood is getting a companion novel. It's called An Education in Malice. It says it's a blood-stained love letter to ambitious girls, all-consuming desires, and the agonies and ecstasies of academia. There's a whole thread on Twitter with all the information and tropes and facts. And apparently the first chapter was printed in the fancier, newer edition of A Dowry of Blood, which I didn't pick up because I don't like the cover. Interesting. Will you be continuing? I'm not always one for a series or a companion novel, but I think I'll go for it. Now, enough about spooky, scary skeletons. Let's get into romance. Number 1, Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. There is not a cover, but if I'm not mistaken, this is her first adult novel, not within the Brightfall series. Delilah Green Doesn't Care, Asher Parker Doesn't Fall, and Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. The very brief blurb on Goodreads says, it's a holiday rom-com about 2 women who make a Christmas sex pact. So whatever that means, I'll be picking it up. Then another coverless one is 4 Weekends and a Funeral by Ellie Palmer. I think I grabbed this one just because of the tropes. It has fake dating and grumpy sunshine. So it says a woman attends her ex-boyfriend's funeral to find that no one knows he dumped her and agrees to play the role of grieving girlfriend for his family. So it's like fake dating, but he died. But she never counted on falling for his grumpy best friend. Oh no. I just want to see the cover. Then this one has a cover, The Boyfriend Candidate by Ashley Winstead. You know Ashley Winstead from In My Dreams I Hold a Knife fame, and Fool Me Once, which I still don't own. This one seems kind of in line with like the conversations, topics, themes that she writes about and was featured in her other rom-com. This one we have people on the cover though, following a shy school librarian, Alexis Stone. Stone? Wait, this must be the sister from Fool Me Once, who I completely forgot. Because in Fool Me Once we have Lee Stone. Oh my gosh. Alexis Stone is comfortable keeping out of the spotlight, but when she's dumped for being too meek in bed, the humiliation is a wake-up call. She decides she needs to change, and what better way to kickstart her new, more adventurous life than with her first one-night stand. Enter Logan, the gorgeous foul-mouthed stranger she meets at a hotel bar. The hotel catches fire in a freak lightning storm, and in their rush to escape, Logan is discovered carrying her into the street where people are waiting with cameras. Pictures of her and Logan escaping the fire are all over the internet. It turns out Logan is none other than Logan Arthur, the hotshot politician challenging the Texas governor's seat. The salacious images are posted to sink his career and jeopardize Alexis's job until a solution is proposed. To squash the scandal, he and Alexis could pretend to be in a relationship until election day in 2 months. What could possibly go wrong? More fake dating. I have to have it. Next up, Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up by Cherish Reed. This one, the infographic definitely grabbed my attention. Fan family, sunshine heroine, second chance, opposites attract, workplace romance, fish out of water, grumpy daddy vibes. I don't know about that one, but it says Mickey is an expert at analyzing modern literature. I love it. But when it comes to figuring out her own story, she's feeling a little lost. At 33, she's an adjunct instructor with a meager summer class schedule and too many medical bills courtesy of her chronic illness. Picking up a bartending gig seems perfect. Sure, Mickey's never done it before, but the gorgeous grumpy bar owner Diego might be the perfect man to teach her. I just think it sounds fun. And this one is called The Boyfriend Subscription by Stephen Salvatore. When the owner and top earning performer of an app for queer sex workers needs a date for his sister's wedding, he hires a down on his luck horticulturist to be his fake date. Fake dating. It's my thing. Did you figure that out? But the terms of their agreement quickly become complicated by real feelings. I want to see the cover. Okay, then I also saw this deal announcement for a book called Say You'll Be Mine by Naina Kumar. It says it's pitched as my best friend's wedding meets Indian matchmaking. It follows a young woman who, to survive being the best man at the wedding of her ex, for whom she still has feelings, enters into a fake engagement with the man her parents always wanted for her. Fake dating, wedding books. Like, it's gonna be for me. Then when I read this book by Chloe Leese, Always Only You, I said I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue in the Bergman Brothers series, but the 6th one is coming out in just a couple months, and I think I am gonna read this one. Chloe Leese said it's her first brother's best friend story. It says, brace yourself for longing laughter and a swoony slow burn in this brother's best friend sports romance about scoring the love of your life when you least expect to. It's got Ziggy and Sebastian, hockey, and what is that, soccer? I didn't even read on into the synopsis, but I just skimmed over it, and it says she's proposing a fake relationship with real benefits. And I think the last romance on my list is The Secrets to a Southern Wedding by Cynthia Williams. I think it was a romance, maybe it's not. An emotional and witty story of love, forgiveness, and second chances as the race to the wedding day begins. So we have a woman named Dr. Amani Kemp, and her mother's getting married. She hasn't been back to her small town in like 10 years, and she knows that the wedding shouldn't go through, so it's like a race against the clock to stop the wedding. And while that's happening, she falls in love with the groom's son. And he obviously wants the wedding to go through, so we'll see the mess that happens from there. Oh, also for romance, this isn't like an announcement, but Honey and Spice did get a new cover, and I just want to know what you think. I do prefer romance books that have both of the characters on the cover, though I think some even hardcovers had Malachi on it, if I'm remembering correctly. But I'm curious, do you like the paperback or do you like the hardcover? I don't know that I'd repurchase, but if I saw it on sale, I'd probably buy this one to swap out. And now let's run through anthologies because there's always so many of them. This one I thought was gonna be a romance, just like from one author about 2 characters, because I feel like anthologies don't often just feature one couple on the cover. So I added it before knowing it was an anthology, but I am still intrigued. It's called Even If the Sky is Falling. We've got Taj McCoy. I haven't actually read from any of these authors, but all the stories are connected. When an international warning siren accidentally goes off, convincing everyone that a meteor shower may just be the end of life as they know it, 6 couples, friends, exes, crushes, and rivals, must take shelter. Inhibitions are abandoned, confessions are made, and love blossoms. But what happens when the world doesn't end? That just sounds so fun. Then I have 19 Claws and a Blackbird. This is a short story collection just from one author, Augustina Bazterrica, who of course wrote Tender as the Flesh. I quite like this cover though. It's a little odd. Probably because it's pink and there's a hand on it. There are 19 stories in here. They're brutal, darkly funny, They talk about deepest fears and most disturbing fantasies. They're about violence, alienation, dystopia. It's been recently translated to English, so that's why I will get to read it soon. Can't wait. Then A.S. King, you know A.S. King, a favorite author of mine. She has contributed 2 short story collections, but I don't believe has ever had one of her own. But there's one coming out called The Collectors. It says it's a YA anthology of stories about remarkable people and their surprising collections. So that sounds really fun. Then we've got Magic Has No Borders, edited by 2 authors I really like, Sona Sharapatra and Samira Ahmed, featuring Saba Tahir, Tanaz Batina, Nafiza Assad, and then a whole bunch of people who I haven't read from before. I've been waiting so long to see what this cover was gonna look like. And it is a lush collection of South Asian folklore, legends, and epics, reimagined stories of old for a modern audience. This fantasy and science fiction teen anthology contains a wide range of stories from 14 best-selling, award-winning, and emerging authors. Next up, though I didn't like Goblin, I do like Josh Mallerman, and he has another short story collection coming out called Spin a Black Yarn. It is a series of novellas. 5 twisted tales from the shadows of the human soul. We have a haunted house. We have a dying man confessing to murders he didn't commit. We have a tourist going to outer space. We have a weird gadget. And we have a wealthy old man murdering a young man. Then if you're into dark academia, there is a dark academia anthology featuring ML Rio and Olive E. Blake, among others. It's called In These Hallowed Halls. Darkened libraries at elite schools, looming Gothic towers, charismatic professors, the tang of autumn in the air, and the rivalries and obsessions that lead to murder. Within These Hallowed Halls is a chilling, compulsive collection of dark academia short stories. Are you gonna read it? Let me know. Then, I didn't know, maybe I did know, but I forgot that this is going to be an entire series of anthologies. So this one is Vampires Never Get Old. It's edited by Zoraida Cordova and Natalie C. Parker. So they did vampires in this one, which I quite enjoyed. And now they're doing mermaids. It's called Mermaids Never Drown. And we've got authors that I love, like Darcy Little Badger and Julian Winters, and also Jane Herr and Julie Murphy, and again, many people I do not know. 14 young adult short stories, exploring mermaids like we've never seen them before. I don't think you need to know any more than that. I'm interested though to consider, I don't know if they've announced it, but like what other creatures are to come or if there will be more. Very fun. Then we've got Out of Our League, 16 stories of girls in sports. I love Adalia Adler short story collection. So this one has no list of authors on the Goodreads, but it is edited by Adalia Adler and Jennifer Iacopelli. Every athlete has what it takes to win, but for teen female players, the stakes are so much higher. In this anthology, the voices of these athletes come alive, highlighting the ferocity of those who are often shunted to the side. Then next, I have this cover, which I absolutely love. It's so weird. The color scheme is so beautiful, and I love it so much. It's called Peach Pit. It's edited by Molly Llewellyn, if I'm pronouncing that properly, I'm probably not, and Crystal Buckley, and features authors who I've definitely read from or heard of before. Lauren Groff, Sarah Rose Etter, Alicia Elliott, Amanda LeDuc, Allison Rumfit, Megan Giddings, among others. And it says, in these 16 stories, we see women at their most monstrous, as con artists and murderers, cutthroats and scalpers, ruled by ambition and grief and spite. Characters for those tired of being told to play nice. Dressed to the nines in morally gray, the stories in this anthology comprise as envelope full of teeth, each one distinct, unsettling, and sharp enough to rip out a throat. What a pitch! And then this one is not yet on Goodreads, but Billy Ray Belcourt, a favorite of mine, has a short story collection called Coexistence coming out soon, and it's stories about Indigenous love and loneliness that follows characters searching for connection in the past, present, and future. So I will be picking that up. That's it for me today. I'm sure you'll see me again in a month or 2 with more things, because it's not enough that I have 100 books here and 200 books in the closet, and probably 100 books I included in that most anticipated reads of 2023 video at the beginning of the year. But now there's more, and there continues to be more, and it'll never stop, and it's so beautiful. So I'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching and letting me know all your thoughts on all the things I talked about, any books coming out that you think I need to know about, and I'll see you later. Bye.